Hello and welcome to the Ballcard Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary LeMaster.
And this is Season 5, Episode 39.
Almost to the big 4-0.
We're almost to the 40th episode of the year. Coming off of a really fun weekend. We had a really fun show. Grove City Card Fest was a blast.
Great turnout. I know the last show that was at Grove City, people were like, man, what's going on? It was banging. It got going
steady.
and it didn't stop.
You got to sit down for about 10 minutes at
Oh
one
my
point.
God. I was so sore when I got home. Our house is 3 levels, and my space, my office, my man cave is all downstairs. And I made it down the stairs fine, but when it was time to come back up the steps, my body was like, I don't know about this.
My favorite was rolling into the show, got my dolly, start to lose everything.
It's raining.
Showcase, it's been raining pretty heavily, and it does like the slow fall where everyone in the parking lot gets to see it. It's falling so slow, so you just have to watch the rest of it.
But fast enough that you can't get there to stop it.
Well, that's a given. I think at this point, given your stature and physical ability, sir, and the physics of it. Great weekend. Fun show last week, and then today we've got a really, really special one for you. We have an interview coming up in just a few that you're not going to want to miss. Just absolutely pumped about it today. And then 2 big stories that we want to talk about. One everyone's talking about, and honestly, we're going to push back on one of the most liked guys in the hobby today.
A little bit.
We're going to push back.
It's in love, but
they're gonna be
a
like,
little bit.
Somebody could have a different opinion. I'm like, yep, about to. We're about to. Come for you. All right, so let's jump in. Meat and potatoes. I made a short little post that, wait, if you guys saw that video, but Dr. James Beckett in his podcast, which, by the way, I love that he does a bi-weekly. Now that we know that means both every other week and also
twice a week.
Times in a week. Show that they're usually like, he'll break them into parts, 15 to 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Kind of good structure, great conversation, but holy hell.
This one was something.
What?
You texted me and you said, listen to this right now and tell me if he said what I think he said.
I listened to it 3 times before making any
really
comments. I was like,
in.
I didn't hear that right. No, that's not what he's saying. But sure enough, Dr. James Beckett is a proponent of shill bidding, as long as you pay for it.
Yeah, if you're watching this or listening to this and you don't know who Dr. James Beckett is,
welcome to the hobby.
The original founder of Beckett Magazine and Beckett Price Guides, which were a yearly price guide before they became a magazine, and then founded Beckett Grading Services. One of the Mount Rushmore names in hobby history is Dr. James Beckett. And for him to bring someone onto his show who...
What's his name, Patrick Ryan?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah, because he made the joke, he almost called this show Saving Private Ryan. Who was shill bidding a card of his own, got caught doing it, and then they spent the next 30 minutes...
defending it.
Not only defending it, but encouraging it. And calling it defensive shill bidding, because all you're trying to do is create a false reserve.
All right, let's back it up. Before we go that deep with it.
Okay.
Let's just get a basic understanding. There are going to be many definitions out there of what shill bidding actually is. What's the Gary LeMaster definition of shill bidding?
Shill bidding is bidding on a card with the sole intent and purpose of driving the price of the card up.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what the end result is. That is what a shill bid is. It is somebody who is trying to inflate the end price of an auction.
Okay.
Am I wrong? Is that correct?
No. They're engaging in it, whether they have intentions to pay or not pay. They are raising the price of an item that is theirs. Is that how we would define it?
It doesn't even have to be theirs.
Okay.
If they are intentionally bidding with the purpose of raising the end price, that is what a shill bid is.
Oh, so you could shill something that's not even yours.
Of course you could, because at the end of the day, when you're buying something at auction, your hope is that you're going to get a good deal on it. Right? Now, why would somebody want to shill cards?
Well, according to Dr. James Beckett, smarter man than I am, more degrees,
you do
more
have more
track
hair,
record, and honestly, he's been pretty good in the industry over the years.
Yeah.
He's got a good track record. But it's more about protecting the card from a bad auctioneer or platform or maybe a typo. But the cards need to be protected. Their values need to be protected. We don't want cards to sell too low just because of wait a second. This sounds exactly like shill bidding.
Yeah, it's this wild behavior.
This sounds exactly like shill bidding.
Wild behavior. And the idea that and this is what's crazy, since this has come out and since there's been massive pushback.
Right.
It's just been a double down.
Oh, yeah.
An absolute double down. And what was crazy was this Patrick Ryan guy was like, yeah, I just was in this auction and I saw a card and I had no idea it was. Shut up. The idea that
My favorite quote, Dr. Beckett, he said he was explaining that. And he's right what you're saying. He's like, well, I'm not like trying to show it up. I mean, because at that price, I'd be a buyer
on my own card. It's crazy how that works. And then for him to go on and say multiple times, yeah, I've done this for my friends at this auction house and this auction house. And, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're not talking about, listen, okay, understand. Now, this happens at all levels.
Hold on for a second. Imagine doing this at a show. I walk up to your table. Somebody has a Joe Burrow PSA 10 rookie, right?
Yep.
And I own a Joe Burrow PSA 10 rookie. So say they're both silvers, and let's say that they were $500. Don't look, I'm just throwing out numbers here. They were worth $500.
Okay.
And there's a buyer next to me that's already been talking to you.
Okay.
And then he jumps in and says, I'll give you $350. And as you're entertaining the offer, knowing that's a hard pass, but just hypothetically speaking, they say $350. I have to jump in the middle of that conversation and say $450. Because my job as a collector is to defend the value of that card. And if I believe that Joe Burrow silver is $500, then the hobby needs me to do it. And all these goofy dealers, they don't need the money right now.
I wonder why that doesn't happen at shows and it only happens in online marketplaces.
Yeah. The other thing about the interview that was great was that the Patrick Ryan guy that was really sorry for his actions just made a point of pointing out, I mean, it's not like I'm one of the poors.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just spending so much that I have no way of knowing. I'd buy my own cards. I love them so much.
It was 30 minutes of wild admissions of awful behavior.
Well, and who got brought into the mix?
PWCC, Heritage,
Probstein,
and then Probstein later was like, keep my name out your mouth.
He's like, I just rode this wave out. I'm launching my own tool called Snipe. And
that was the other part of the conversation that was wild too. They were very upset that auction houses that'll have extended bidding allow people who didn't bid in the regular portion of bidding to then bid in the extended bidding, because then, you might get sniped. They want both sides of this. They want to protect the value of their cards, but they also want to buy stuff cheap as humanly possible. Yeah. It was mind-numbing, the level of hypocrisy and lack of self-awareness.
This is clear, hey, here we go, conspiracy theory. That's all the Ballcard Show does. We're going to get into that in a minute. Clearly, when we're putting on a tinfoil hat, no humor involved. It's satire, but also maybe listen to the words we're saying. But I am just what was I saying? I got so ticked off I can't even remember.
I don't know where you were going with it.
Oh, conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
They were so comfortable with the conversation.
Yes.
And that means this has been happening for a minute. And it's not just them. If these people are all calling each other, talking about it.
Yeah.
One of the examples was Dr. Beckett was submitting for a friend a collection. Now, I can understand certainly helping that out, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Our friend is Dr. Beckett. Can you help us sell this? That's all logical. Makes perfect sense. He goes to the auction house and says, now, I'm submitting these, but can I bid on some of these? Because I'd be a buyer at that price. I just want to protect this for the family that's trying to sell the cards.
Here's what's crazy. Because he followed that up with, I told these people they would get at least this much for these cards. Right. Here's an idea. Crazy idea. Buy the damn cards from those people for that price.
Yeah.
And then you can see whether you can make some money on those cards when you put them up to auction.
Well, I'm sure that's a little more complicated because it could be that he doesn't want to, that could create a dynamic if it was a family friend of is he getting the full value for us and all that.
Well, then
kind
you
of
shouldn't
stuff.
be promising people things. At the end of the day.
Well, if you know the guy that owns the auction house and you just.
An auction is inherently a risk. You are choosing to take an item that you own and let the actual free market decide what it's worth in that moment. Sometimes it's worth more than you think, and sometimes you get kicked in the teeth. Oh, kind of like what we do on Whatnot every single week. We start things at $1.
Yeah.
And they sell for what they sell for.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're really happy, and sometimes I go home and cry.
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
Well, I guess the way it works is like if you don't like how that's going and you don't like Beckett and them shill betting, the sentiment with those in the hobby is just maybe you just can't hang. If you're not going to shill, maybe you can't hang.
We're headed there?
You want to?
Let's head there.
All right. We haven't done this yet, but it was due at some point. Somebody at Sports Card Nonsense is going to say something that we don't agree with, and we're going to let them know because nobody's off the hook if we feel like somebody has a terrible take.
Facts.
And this week was one of those weeks. We're going after Alex, Clever Cuban Card, which if you'd have given me a lineup of names 6 months ago of somebody that we would maybe be like, oh, bad take, definitely don't agree with that. Alex is probably at the bottom of the list.
Probably, yeah.
For context, Clever Cuban Cards has built out a pretty large following, really good content. He's probably one of the most transparent people when it comes to here's my business, here's how it operates, here's much money I make. He's unapologetic about the amount of profit he makes if he has a great show, and he's honest with people if things don't perform as well as he's expecting. Love the content. He's put spreadsheets, all kinds of takes, good content out there, and he has a podcast, The Hobby Handbook on Sports Cards Nonsense. In this particular episode, he was sitting in for Mike Gio with Jesse, and they're talking through Beckett, and then they got to the PSA conspiracies that were thrown out there. I'm going to say this first. The tone came across very condescending.
Yeah.
But I can handle that as someone who naturally speaks to others that way. So I'm comfortable, but it wasn't, exactly the way I like to receive that information. But essentially, as he was walking through this, it was kind of a, hey, you're hearing all these conspiracies with PSA. Guys, chill out. Just take off your tinfoil hats.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, ignore the man behind the curtain. This stuff isn't where it's... So we want to show you what was actually said, and then we're going to dive in on this. And I have deep respect for Alex, but I think these are some rough takes.
So I've just heard a lot of people talking. I heard a specific example on TikTok the other day about PSA offers. I heard a video the other day on TikTok where somebody was saying, I had a Michael Jordan that was in a PSA 9, it's a $200 card, and in a PSA 10, it's an $8,000 card. They said, oh, well, PSA is going to buy that, and then they're going to crack it and give it a 10, because then they're going to take cards that they know are going to grade well, give it a 9, they're going to offer to buy it back for less than it's worth. So
then they're going to crack it and then
regrade it, and then they get to keep all the profit. And that's one of the theories, which I say is nonsense. Do you really think the PSA is going to risk its reputation on $7,800?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Additionally, the PSA offers, and I have a whole YouTube video that's going out on this today, but the PSA is not buying the crazy, crazy high-end cards. Generally, it's stuff between $10 and $1,000. My big expensive cards, PSA does not have offers on ever. No, they're not. Your ultra modern cards are 99.9% of them are going to go down over the next year.
Sure. Yeah.
PSA stockpiling stuff? No. If you are a repacker, you are getting your cards into repacks within weeks, because if not, you're going to run into what Jeff Wilson had, which is he has his graded grails and they say the floor is this amount, and all of a sudden you have cards in there that are not worth that amount because the market changes so quickly. If you're buying these cards, you need to move them quickly. And what it is it's mostly dealers who are upset about this. And I am somebody who I make my living off of selling cards. Mm-hmm. It's harder for me to buy slabs right now because I think that they are more liquid than ever. You're able to do PSA offers, you have repackers, etc. If you can't compete, go do something else. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. And what it is you have dealers who are upset. And it was the same thing with repackers when they started to come in saying, oh my God, I can't walk around the show anymore and buy cards for 75% comp because repackers are coming in and buying them at 95%. It's the same.
All right, Gary, do you want to jump in on this?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start with it?
Well, let's just start from the first one, and we got 3 or 4 of these
Okay.
here that we need to really touch base on.
Kick it off.
So we talked about this stuff a little while back, and I don't know if he's talking about us or other people talking about this.
There's a lot of people talking about it. We're
Sure
small
sounded
potatoes.
like he might have been talking about us, but maybe not. Who knows?
There's a.
There's
I'm going to say probably not.
probably not.
But maybe.
Maybe?
But probably not.
Probably not. PSA, the idea that PSA would not want to risk their reputation over $7,800. I have 2 thoughts here, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, what reputation?
Well, let's talk about it.
PSA, in general, is there anything good that anybody will say about PSA outside of one thing? PSA provides the best liquidity in the market.
Yeah, and
that's-
Alex said that.
Yes.
Alex said that.
And that's the only
That's
thing
it.
that they provide. You get the most money for cards in their slabs. Nobody else has anything else good to say about PSA. Their turn times are trash. Their pricing is trash. The upcharges are trash.
Customer
The
service.
customer service is trash. They don't have a good reputation. So let's not pretend that they would risk a reputation over $7,800. Fun fact, they wouldn't.
I agree.
They would not.
$7,800? No.
Would they for $7.8 million?
Well, how'd you get to that number, Gary?
Well, it's only about 1,000 cards at $7,800.
Oh. So you're saying, hypothetically, and of course they wouldn't, that it's possible that maybe doing this with one card wouldn't make much sense. But if there's a couple thousand out there that are graded 7s or 8s and just their
Become 9s or
opportunity
10s?
became 9s or 10s,
And that are worth $300,000 to $10,000%.
could be tens
more?
of millions of dollars. But they surely wouldn't do that.
No.
Because we've learned they're just sourcing for repackers, right?
Yeah,
so
they are their
if they're
partners.
just sourcing for repackers, it certainly would not be the case that they would offer them the opportunity to grade those cards, because they're just buying them and immediately
Sure.
doing away, because those don't sit around, except in the case maybe of like some 90s Jordan inserts that we keep seeing
Or
with
93.
PSA offers
Yeah.
at 200%.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
But
No.
7,800 is not enough. But if you do that at scale over
That's an
all of the
awful
cards
lot
you
of
decide
money.
to offer on, that is a lot more than $7,800. I
a lot
went to
of
Bible
money.
college. I'm no mathematician.
And it's almost like their biggest repack partner at GameStop is also a massive group submitter.
Well, we went over this. Back when PSA was offering that special promotion where you could sell direct, save on it, and skip the line, we said this sure looks like somebody's positioning for a repack. Now, once again, conspiracy theory, so it couldn't be true.
Couldn't be true.
Couldn't be true. It's not their repack, by the way, Gary. They're just providing a service out of the kindness
Yes.
of their heart for
No
these other
value there at
repackers
all.
that they love so dearly.
So, bad take number 1. Bad take number 2, that they're not making offers on high value cards. They're only making offers on cards realistically between $10 and $1,000. Weird. Weird, because literally I bought a card this week that had a PSA offer that was double what Alex is talking about here. And I've, with my own eyes, seen multiple 5-figure offers. It's multiple 5-figure offers in the PSA app on cards. So this idea that it's just the like cheap and mid-range stuff that they're buying, that's factually incorrect.
No.
The end.
Yeah.
Full stop. This next to last one here was a really interesting take, and this is one that I may have had personally the most issue with, because in my opinion it was an attempt to defend the indefensible.
Uh-oh.
And that bothers me. Yes, Alex is correct. 99.9% of your ultra-modern cards are going to be worth less a year from now than they are right
True.
now.
Yep.
No question
Stockpile
about it.
is what he's talking
Yes,
about, right?
he's talking about, so why would PSA stockpile things? And he said that the market shifts are what caused the problems that Jeff had with the graded grails
he
and the
was
perception.
saying that Jeff sent his stuff off. By the time it got packaged, the comps had all dropped off, and that's why people were finding product below value.
Yeah, the market didn't happen to Jeff Wilson and graded grails. Jeff Wilson happened to Jeff Wilson and graded grails. If you go look at any card, you can see what the comps have been over time through Card Ladder, which is owned by PSA.
We saw 2 open that never had a comp in the vicinity of the percentage he was advertising.
Ever. So let's not pretend that was a market thing.
But hey, PSA guarantee on the product, because PSA is real careful with who they're doing these repacks with.
Yeah. Interesting there. Last but not least, and this was really...
Don't get too upset about it.
I try not to get too triggered about things.
It's just a take.
But this idea, and the exact quote, was dealers, if you can't take the heat, just get out of the kitchen.
Because his argument was that traditional show dealers are the ones that are complaining about PSA offering these buybacks because if they're paying strong, that's less inventory at margin that's going to walk up to the table. So that's the context of what he was saying.
The idea that anybody in this business who does this for a living can't have legitimate concerns with a massive corporation seemingly trying to touch and profit off of every stage of a card's life to the detriment of everyone else. The idea that you can't disagree with that or have questions or concerns about it. And
that's concerning.
That's concerning.
That's concerning. That's actually a problem.
The idea that you can't question these things and you just have to bow at the feet of PSA is insane to me. It's insane to me. And the idea that dealers are complaining that they can't buy slabs now because of the liquidity that PSA is offering.
Let me jump into that.
Okay, please do.
All right, the dealers are complaining they can't buy blah, blah, blah. Here's the reality. In theory and in principle, exactly what you're saying, Alex, is right. There are people that claim to be dealers that have not had a profitable month in their life. They just go to shows, they complain, they're overpriced, they've got stuff nobody wants. It's the promoter's fault. Then they say they don't want to sell on eBay because they take too much in fees. Yet, Alex, you and we know people that make tons of money only selling on eBay, right? We know that there's dealers that complain and say repacks will make it impossible for dealers. But the reality is this is where you may be off the most. If PSA is truly funneling these resources to repackers, that means repackers are circulating more inventory on a regular basis, which in theory will mean that Gary and I will sell more cards at shows because there's a higher market cap for repacks. So is it really an issue of dealers not being able to keep up, or perhaps is it that the same people in love with everything that PSA is doing right now could not glaze SGC any harder 1 year ago? Could not be more excited for Beckett 10 years ago when they started their braking company. I just feel like there's so much inconsistency, and you're attributing all this to there being a need for the free market so that dealers, if you can achieve and you can grow your business, good on you. There shouldn't be anything stopping you. If you truly believe in a free market, then you should definitely be concerned that there are 2 companies controlling this market right now. Fanatics has the big 3 next year. It's a great idea. Let's fast forward 3 years and see what happened with Panini when this stuff was going on. And they didn't even have baseball, right? If you want to talk about anything in the grading and repack space, now it's PSA. So your free market is now being controlled by 2 companies. No competition on wax. No competition on grading. We shouldn't be concerned.
That's not a free market.
The dealers should not be concerned?
Yeah, like it's a very legitimate thing to look at X, Y, and Z and ask who benefits from this? Why is this being done? And who benefits the most from it? If the answer to that second question is always Fanatics or PSA, then we got a problem.
Well, yes and no. Their job is to ask that question with everything.
Sure.
But our job is to point out things that are concerning.
Yes.
Dealers should have an opinion on something like this.
And to just be dismissive of it, like, oh, those are just conspiracy theories. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Listen, 2 things can be true at once. They might just be conspiracy theories. But if a large portion of the people who are helping to provide liquidity in the hobby, aka show dealers, are concerned about these things, we are selling a ton of cards, but guess what we're also doing? We're spending an ass load of money every single week so that we can continue to sell cards. We're providing a lot of liquidity in this market too. If we have legitimate concerns about this stuff, you would think that that would be something that is reasonable and it shouldn't be dismissed, right? Is that fair?
Flat out, if it does impact the dealers in this ecosystem, guys like Alex are in the most trouble because
Yeah.
he's scaled at such a volume where he has to, like, he can buy online. If he had to, he probably could just do that, but his life gets way harder and his margins get tighter if he moved completely to online for sourcing. He needs shows.
Yes.
Guys like Alex need shows to do whatnot of nothing but baseball, averaging $10 to $20 per card. You need shows to buy that stuff at volume.
Yes.
And you're going to need dealers that can make money profiting off of that. So the concern should be for the ecosystem for all of us in business together,
Yes.
Alex. It's not a you thing. It's this conversation that gets us fired up where it's like, since we started saying what we think and quit worrying about what anybody else said about it, which was day one, by God, people have had a problem with it. And every time somebody has a problem, now here's the reality. My assumption is that you are feeling this type of way towards the takes that we have. If I'm wrong about that, you've probably never even seen our content, know who we are other than a couple comments. That's surely possible. So take a step back and eat some humble pie. But this affects all of us, dude. It affects you. It affects me. That can't be it because you say Occam's razor. What is most logical? What we've seen happening or what we haven't seen happen yet? Because every time in this industry, there becomes a titan that takes out all the market space in the area, a huge bad thing happens in the hobby.
Right.
It's historical. It's cyclical. It's happening over and over again. So maybe some of the people doing this are people who have been doing it for a minute. Maybe they've been doing it long enough to see.
Yeah, and again, all the respect in the world for what you've built and what you do and the level of transparency that you give to it.
Just a take.
But, man, don't dismiss concerns that people have as if it's not a reasonable concern. And like Jason said, remember where you get a lot of the stuff you sell from. Remember where you started from when you got to get to that point. We all need each other in this hobby, in this economic ecosystem that we live in. And we should not be so quick to just go,
I'm sure PSA wants what's best for me.
yeah, exactly. Anyhow.
Okay. Well, that was, I got a little more heated. I thought you'd be, but then when you got into the dealer part of that, I'm like, no, hey,
Easy.
hey. All right. I think we need a palate cleanser. Now's the perfect time.
It is.
Yeah, it is. My favorite uncle, your favorite uncle, Uncle Terry.
Now these are the 1981 Donruss. That's Alan Trammell there. And he don't weigh but nothing but 100 pounds there. Damn best ball player you ever saw, but might be the damn skinniest damn ball player you ever saw. Look at his sleeves, bud. His damn sleeves drape over his skinny little arms. But those arms could swing that bat there. He talked to the baseball. I thought he connected with the game on a deeper level, bud. Practicing a deeper love and desire for the game. Telling the ball, I need you to strike out the batter. Help me, bud. The old bird here. I liked when he'd scoop up the dirt, too. During the years of 1980 to 1986, old Riley Fingers wouldn't look a camera in the eyes. Oh, no. He wanted that mustache captured at all angles. So in 1981, they'd say, "Smile, Riley, for your baseball card." And he said, "Like hell I will. I'm turning to the side so you can see that mustache curl off my cheek. Look at him, bud. Wild man right there."
All right, guys. So excited. We're just gonna run straight into this interview so you get to experience the surprise with us. Although I'm sure the thumbnail has given this away by now. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the interview.
All right, guys, we told you that we were super excited about this one. We are ecstatic to welcome to the Ballcard Show Chicago Cubs all-star pitcher, Justin Steele.
Yeah,
Justin. Buddy. Justin is not just a pitcher, but he is one of us. He is a card collector and starting to get into the world of sitting on our side of the table. So we're super excited to have him here. Justin, we were talking a little bit before we even got started here, and when you first started interacting with our content, Jason and I were both like, Wait a minute.
Justin
I recognize
has
that.
AI bots.
Is that really what's going on here? We were just blown away by it and excited by it. And how did you even stumble across us?
Yeah, I think it was I was probably doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever the case may be one night, and y'all's stuff just started popping up on my feeds. I mean, as I've gotten deeper and deeper into the card stuff, more and more content's popped up on my feeds and whatnot. And y'all's show kept popping up, and I found myself usually agreeing with what y'all was saying, and it was funny to listen to y'all's like tidbits at card shows, like pet peeves and whatnot. So, and I was starting to get to behind the table of dealing cards, selling cards, buying stuff. So it was fun to listen to that perspective.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's meant a lot to us. And what's fun is whenever you hop in, I could be shipping a $2 card on eBay and you'll pop in while I'm down in my basement stuffing envelopes. And the people in the chat they can't believe it. You like pop in, pop out. They're like, holy crap, was that actually Justin Steele while you're stuffing a $2 base Jordan from back in the day? I was like, yeah, I guess so. But we appreciate having you. And I want to talk about, you were like, I'm going to get to the National this year. You were messaging back and forth with us a little bit. And obviously the National Chicago was absolutely bonkers this year. I mean, the turnouts, the lines 3 blocks down, just an insane show. Then on a particular day, Tom Brady shows up. Oh yeah, by the way, we're dropping the card vault across the street from your office. It's a day that ends with Tom Brady getting the chance to meet you. So explain to us what that day was like. What was like your snapshot of like, hey, I'm actually in this hobby. I have like some aspirations of a business with this. I love cards. And then just that proximity to everything happening in the hobby all in one day.
Yeah, so the National was something I'd been wanting to go to. Everybody was telling me I need to go to it and stuff. I was rehabbing in Arizona and whatnot. And then we kind of caught wind of that Tom Brady was going to be opening up the card vault that weekend across the street from Wrigley. So it was just a perfect storm of like, I need to go to this. Not only do I need to go to this, I need to crack out some of my Tom Brady graded cards, like the rookies I have and some of that stuff, just in case I have a chance to grab some autographs. I really didn't know like for a fact that he would sign my cards. I was kind of just like hoping he would be nice and generous enough to do it. But I mean, the way it worked out, I mean, I'm sure y'all have seen the video. Like we're ripping cards, ripping baseball cards with Tom Brady and the crew and everything. I pulled a Aaron Judge case hit in the video, so that was really cool. Got a grade at PSA 10. So was really fired up about that, and then I was able to like have some really good conversation with him. Got him to grade some cards of mine. You know, we had a great conversation. It was just really cool to, you know, be in the presence of somebody like Tom Brady, and he's really into the hobby now as well. So it was a really cool moment.
Awesome. With you know, obviously you're into cards, and there's a lot of, you're talking about Tom being into the hobby now, and it seems like more and more athletes are getting into this space, whether it is on the promotional side of things or collecting. We were talking a little bit before the show about a former pro player that I know who is now heavily into cards. With your team, with the Cubs, what percentage of your teammates, people around the organization, would you say, you know, are either collecting or buying and ripping wax or anything in this space?
I would say in some capacity, most guys are. And, you know, and even if it's like a small capacity, like you go to Target, you're getting groceries, you see a box and you grab it. And then I would say there's probably like 25 to maybe even 45% that are like really into it. Like Matthew Boyd really got into it this year. So I would say like he's full-fledged in the hobby, buying baseball hobby boxes and stuff like that. Jameson Talion's really into Pokemon cards, so like he's in the hobby, just like in a different specter of it. So it's really cool. You really come into contact with different people. You find out that people are in the hobby that, you know, you didn't know was before, because you're just starting to talk about it in front of them.
Sure. You guys trading cards with each other?
Not too much. Me and our pitching coach Tommy Hotovy, like he's into football cards and I am too. So like him and I toss back ideas like, you know, what should I bid on this card, or what should I do here? What should I do there? He had a really good Jaden Daniels downtown. I think he ended up selling it. That I was trying to trade for him or whatever, but I think he ended up selling it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got a good number of you that are opening it. Tell us a little bit about your PC. I know you're a big Buckeyes fan for sure, but beyond
Me?
that, oh, I'm sorry. Did I misunderstand that? I know you're not. Just kidding. But what is your PC? What are you out there buying? What do you look for? Is there a certain product you like to open, or is there a player? I caught you off guard with the Buckeyes line. I could
Yeah,
tell.
I was like, what?
I think we're just going to move past it, but I know you're going to have to say something about that. But who are you playing? Because there's certain sets. What's that look like for you, Justin?
Right now, if I'm buying wax, I'm buying 2022 UFC products. It's specifically Prism. There's some one-on-ones that are still really in play. It's Kamzat Chimaev's second year. His one-on-one's still alive. Tom Aspinall's one-on-one's still alive. There's still other great rookies in that class like Patty Pimblett, Ilya Taporia, a lot of like good up-and-comers, guys who are already champions. It's just a stacked rookie class, and UFC as a whole is just like an extremely slept-on market. I think as cards continue to blow up and markets continue to boom, UFC is only going to continue to climb, because I think this thing with they're signing with Paramount, where it's going to become extremely accessible for all kinds of fans to start watching it. I think the card market's going to, start to climb with it as well. So I've been really climbing into if I'm buying wax, chasing something, that's like what I like to chase, because there's a ton of rookies in that class you're chasing, a lot of color. It's just a really good product. And any 2022 UFC, if I'm ripping wax, that's what I'm gonna be ripping. And then as far as my PC, as far as football goes, Drew Brees is like my goat. That's the guy that made me fall in love with the New Orleans Saints, football as a whole. Michael Thomas with him. I just picked up a number to 25 Drew Brees and Michael Thomas dual autograph. Was like very fired up about it. Michael Thomas is like the best. Not Michael Thomas. Sorry, Marquise Colston. Marquise Colston.
Old school. Yeah.
Sorry, I got them mixed up for a second. But yeah, Marquise Colston. I got a dual auto of those guys. Marquise
Colston
Colston's
was a dog. People forget.
dude, he's like the best Saints receiver in my eyes. Like he was my favorite.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then baseball, I just kind of collect myself. I started collecting Jack Caglione because of how good he was at Florida, and then coming through the minor league system. He's a really exciting player. Not too much into baseball. I do a lot of football and UFC mainly.
Okay. All right.
Did you collect as a kid?
Yes. So the way I got into collecting, my dad collected cards. My brother's 5 years older than me. He was into it as well. Nothing like too crazy. Like the way we would get cards is every Saturday or Sunday, I would say twice a month, we'd go to the flea market, and that's where we would like get our cards. Like there was people setting up tables at the flea market. That was like our card show, I guess you would say, like back in the day. In the middle of the sticks. Like it was just a flea market, and people would go sell their cards there, and that's kind of how we started our collection. And the way I got back into the hobby is when 2020 happened, COVID, everything shut down. The cards started, picking back up, and I started going through my old collection, everything me, my brother, and my dad had. And there was a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie. It wasn't PSA, it was some other grading company, but it was a 10, and it was a Tiffany. So it was a really good card.
Yeah.
And I started like Googling. It was like, man, this card's worth like a few $1,000 right now. Like, so that's kind of what got me back into it. Was like, man, this is fun. This is, keeps me busy in my free time and stuff. So I really enjoy it now.
So you've been collecting for most of your life. You were talking about the flea market. We had a guy in our neighborhood who, like twice a month, would just like put some tables out in his driveway and just set cards out like a yard sale, but it was just cards.
Yeah.
So that was always cool. But what made you decide, okay, I've been collecting, I want to go to the other side of this thing. I want to sit on that dealer side of the table. What was your impetus to like take that step?
It was definitely just the free time that I had. With this injury and everything going on, I had a ton of free time on my hands. I was, buying cards. I was, really starting to get into collecting with all the free time on my hands. Really starting to dive into like getting stuff on eBay instead of, whatnot, just buying directly what I wanted. Started selling, I would buy something that I had a good idea would go up, and then I would, flip it, started getting into that side of things. And then I know a card shop owner out here, a DNA card shop, Adam. He's great. He's the man. He has two shops out here, one in Peoria, or not Peoria. It's around Peoria, and then one in Scottsdale as well. Great card shop, so shout out to him. He had a table at 2 card shows and was invited me to come sit behind the table with him, bring my own cases,
Yeah.
and I can display my cards, sell them, and buy if I want to. I realized really quickly, like, people walk up to your table a lot just wanting to sell you their cards. And like I realized after like the first 3 times of going through somebody's case and not really liking anything they had, I switchly just flipped. I'm just buying. Like, I don't want to take the time to go through your stuff and not like anything, or like just one card out of 50. So I kind of just started telling people I just wanted to sell. So business slowed down a little bit for me there, but once I started picking up, it was nice.
Okay.
Awesome.
So when you're setting up at some shows, the first few of them, it's like you have an expectation. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. You think you have the right stuff, but you don't know what kind of traffic there will be there. But after looking at setting up a little bit, what are maybe a couple things on like the business side that were a couple quick lessons? Obviously, one is like, all right, I'm going to have a steady amount of traffic wanting to sell to me. Can you think of a couple lessons you've learned just on the business side early on of like maybe a way you approach something or what you buy or what you're selling? I mean, just anything that stood out to you.
Well, I mean, obviously everyone loves the case hits. Everybody loves the kabooms, downtowns. Like, I sold a ton of downtowns and kabooms at the card shows just because I would either pull it in a break or whatever the case may be, or I bought it off of eBay, sat on it long enough, and the football season started or was about to start or something, and then product starts heating up, and then you do it. But I would say case hits. Like, everyone loves 1-on-1s, number to 10s, case hits, kabooms, downtowns. Those are going to be pretty liquid at any card show, I would say, because just everyone loves them. I had some UFC cards. I didn't sell a ton of UFC cards, so I've kind of figured out like the UFC market's more online. But I kind of love the UFC more just because it's more of a niche market, and I just see a ton of room for it to climb and grow exponentially. So I kind of like stay there as a mainstay when I'm ripping wax and stuff. But I would say the big tip for card shows is just make sure you're bringing stuff people want to see. People love the NFL. People, like I said, people love the big kabooms, the downtowns, the golds, the number to 10s, number to 50s. That was what sold for me. And UFC really didn't sell. So that was my 2 main pickups from the 2 card shows that I did.
That's pretty good finding a more efficient channel for something, though. If you're figuring that out pretty quickly, like, all right, here's where that market's going to move. It's going to be online for that kind of stuff. And
yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's just one of those things you're not going to learn that unless you like put your feet in the fire and kind of
right. Yeah.
You got to learn by your mistakes.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds like obviously the UFC market is one that you are excited about and drilling into. Is there anything else, like a specific player or a specific niche outside of that you are super hyper focused on within your card business right now?
Yeah, it's UFC. It's mainly what I've been ripping and stuff. There hasn't been anything else that I've been really buying. Especially with that White House card coming up. That's going to be a really big spectacle for the sport. It's going to be on the Paramount deal, so it's like everyone in the world is going to be able to watch that. Obviously, being at the White House, like that in itself is going to draw a lot of eyes. So right. I'm really like stockpiling a ton of UFC for that around that time. I think it's going to like really, you're going to see a real explosion in the UFC market, and that's when I'm going to dump a lot of it.
All right. So it sounds like one of the approaches that you like to take is like more short-term holds. Like, I'm going to get this stuff. I'm going to get it when I think I'm getting it right. I don't mind sitting on it for a little while, but you're not saying you're holding it for 10 years. You're just
I mean,
some stuff that you hear it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're collecting modern cards, most of them are going to go down in the long run. So you have to buy it, sit on it, and then sell it at the right time. Unless you're talking, your Michael Jordans, your Larry Birds, your LeBrons.
Right.
Those are in a different category. But if it's, with especially UFC, you got to time it when those guys are about to fight for a belt or they are champion and they're fighting again. Like I just showed you this Alejandro Pantoja. He's the champ right now. This is a 1-on-1 of when he became the flyweight champ, flyweight wins leader. And I'm gonna crack. It got a 6. I think I could clean it up, get a better grade, and I'm gonna, that's the kind of stuff I'm doing right now.
Yep. So when you go and set up at these shows, are you able to kind of lay low? Are people broadcasting?
Dude, you would be extremely surprised how average of a white guy I look like. Like most people just do not recognize me. I'm just very average looking, especially if I'm like, set up at a card show and I'm just behind the thing, selling cards and stuff. I've been recognized probably like 4 times, and it's someone that like collects baseball, is like really into baseball.
Yeah.
Um,
Hold on a second.
and it's funny. At the first card show I was doing, somebody recognized me and took a picture, and we were talking about cards and stuff. And Adam was at the other side of the table, and they asked Adam, and they was like, "Is that guy famous on TikTok or something? Like, is he a TikTok star?" And Adam went along with it. He was like, "Yeah, he's huge on TikTok. Like, go say what's up to him."
That's funny.
Before we go to the next one, I didn't give
yeah.
you the opportunity.
You're good.
You are not a Buckeyes fan. I want to let you set the record straight. There's a difference.
Die-hard Alabama fan.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad played football at Alabama in '84. It was Bear Bryant's last recruiting class.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that's a reasonable
You
reason
know,
to be a Bama fan.
Good
All right.
reason. Good
I
reason.
had to explain that a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Everyone expected me to be a Mississippi State Ole Miss fan growing up, so I had to explain myself a lot as a kid.
There you go. All right. So outside of cards, this is it. You listen to the pod, and anybody else who's listened for a long time knows that I'm a nerd about baseball stuff in general.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of cards, one of the things that we've seen in baseball exploding, unfortunately, over the last several years, and it seems like every year it's just doing this, is the preponderance of elbow issues that are springing up in pitchers.
Yep.
And I have my theories as to why that's happening. I would love to hear yours.
It's definitely the chase for velocity. Everybody's wanting to throw harder. They're willing to, put your body in not normal positions to reach higher velocities. People are doing it at younger ages now. That's the main proponent to it. Is there a small argument, fractional argument that you can make about the pitch clock? Yes, there is. That's just, it's like working out. If you bench something 10 times and then hop right back under it and try and do it again, you're not going to be nearly as efficient as you was the first time. If you take a 20-second break, like you do in between pitches, you're going to be more rested and you're going to be ready to go. So there is a small argument as far as that stuff goes too. It doesn't. I don't feel like the pitch clock affects me that much. I'm a quick worker as it is, so it doesn't really play into my game that much. But there are, pitchers across the league that it did take some adjusting to. But back to the injury side of things, I think a lot of it, like 95% of it, is just this chase for velocity on every single pitch. I mean, you're seeing sliders thrown, at 92 miles an hour, 95 miles an hour, cutters at 97. It's, and with that, you have to grip the ball really hard. You're squeezing those seams. You're trying to get as much traction as you can on that ball. And with that, I mean, that I can
pronate it.
That's flaring up your elbow. That's how it works. It's not rocket science. So, to me, that's what it is.
Yeah, and I agree completely. The secondary component, I'm glad you just brought that up, is to me, it's that combination of the quest for max velocity at all times, combined with such a heavy focus on, like, insane focus on spin rate and IVB and all those things that cause a pitcher to have to contort the wrist when the arm is all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it just drops all that pressure on the UCL.
Yeah, exactly. And just doing it over and over and over again with not much time in between to rest. That's how it happens.
All right. Well, I'm glad that a professional who does this for a living thinks the same way.
Going through a rehab right now. So,
yeah.
I mean, I can speak on it.
Yeah.
Gary loves it when people make him feel smart. So I just want you to know that if nothing else, he's going to walk around.
Gary, you shouldn't have to have people around you to make you feel smart. You are smart. You're smart.
Trust me, I like myself just fine, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Who was the call? Who was the
doesn't
baseball?
really like.
Hey, who was the? No, he had a great baseball call early in the season. The 23. Is it Schlaughter or no? Or with the Guardians. Yeah, and I messaged y'all about it. When he dropped that video, I was like, I'm gonna go buy some of his autos. He got called up in playoffs, and
the kid. if his foot would stay in one piece, there's a lot to work with there because the swing is nice.
Yeah, he does have a good swing.
The swing is nice.
Speaking of like the proximity that you have with players, putting those reps in, when it comes to like prospecting or what you would be looking at on the Bowman end of it, like for guys like us, if it's something that we want to be like devoted to, it's a significant time commitment, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So much is happening, and at different levels, it means some different things that you're looking for. Like with you being somebody that's working in this space, do you feel like you have an edge when you're watching something? When you're watching a picture that's coming up, what are you like? Are there certain things you're looking for or looks that you get that maybe the average person doesn't?
And do you have time to scout that stuff?
Exactly. If I have an edge, absolutely. What you're asking is like if I'm able to watch the game differently and see different things more so than a casual fan would. If you're especially somebody that's like scouting for Bowman, like am I going to buy this guy? Am I going to not buy this guy? If I had the time to sit there and watch minor league games and stuff like that, and watch a guy's swing, watch a guy's delivery, that's like you said, it's very time consuming, and I have a lot of things I'm doing as well. So that's the main reason why I'm not into Bowman mainly. But I mean, there's guys I buy like Jack Aglione. I was buying his first Bowmans. Connor Griffin, he's from South Mississippi. We have some common people that we know. So I bought some of his. Yeah, I bought some of his stuff. He's a special athlete, man. He's gonna be really good. Yeah, would I have an edge? Absolutely. I can see things in the game that a normal person probably is not able to see, and can probably project, a guy's, swing better than someone else's. A normal person could, but I'm not saying a scout, because scouts are very good at what they do, but just, casual fans, for instance.
Yeah, that to me, that was one of the things I really wanted to hear from you, was how you approach that, because I know, as somebody who has messed with Bowman and the prospecting side of the hobby for years, how much time it takes, and I know how much time it takes to do what you do for a living, and how those two things mesh together is, I don't know how that would be something you'd have the time to really do.
For me, it's only like the guys that like I kind of know already, and like I kind of like I said, your Jack Aglione, your Connor Griffins, like I knew of both of those guys. I know they're going to be great ball players, so just buy some of their stuff, hold on to it. That's it.
See where it lands.
Before we wrap up today, do you remember the first card of yourself that you opened in a pack?
It would have been. Like I said, I don't collect much baseball, and I haven't since I've been in the big leagues. It probably would have been 2023, which they had as my rookie card, but it was 2021 or 2020 was like my actual rookie year, but I guess they didn't think I was going to stick around. So I don't know if we should drop his rookie card yet.
Yeah, well, you never know who's going to be in there. Cal was left out of Topps Chrome this year, so he's been pretty relevant in the league throughout the season.
Yeah, no, I don't think I was in a lot of stuff this year either.
Well, we got to get that figured out.
I don't know how any of it works.
I'll put on tinfoil hats. What do you need us to say? If we put the tinfoil hat on, it's all satire, so you can get away with it.
I love that segment of y'all show.
Oh yeah, we had fun. Maybe too much fun with it. We'll find out.
I'm a big conspiracy theory guy, so I love that stuff.
There's a lot of that going on right now. If people want to follow you, your cards, your card business, what you're buying, what you're into, the content, what's the best way to do that, Justin?
Yeah, on Instagram, I'm Justin Steele 21. On X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, I'm J Steele _ I think 3 underscores and 21, maybe just one. My sports card account on Instagram is Steely Sports Cards. I'm always posting stuff I'm buying, different stuff I'm doing on there, PSA submissions, everything. And then you can follow my baseball account for the main stuff that I'm doing as well.
Perfect.
Awesome. Justin, it's been an honor. We're super privileged and humbled that you joined us today. We thank you for your time.
We appreciate it.
We really do. Can't wait to see you.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was a blast. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
That was a blast.
Yeah, we
can't believe that.
We've been looking forward to that for a while, and it's gotten rescheduled a couple of different times. Can't thank Justin enough for coming
Thank
and
you,
spending
Justin.
some time with us. It was truly a really cool thing. I tried really hard not to fanboy too much in that situation,
Yeah.
but it was really fun for me.
Yeah, Justin's one of those guys as we started like saying, hey, we're going to do this for real, whatever that means for us. Put a lot of time into it. It was one of those validations early on as somebody in the space. I mean, I had a blue check mark. I lost my mind. I couldn't believe it, right?
Well, you guys all know how big of a baseball nerd I am.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and just to learn his love for cards, his business, and the type of stuff that he's been buying. So go check him out. Give him a follow. Take all those steps. Follow. Make sure you follow his card page as well. Profile page.
profile. We're old.
I'm 40. Give Justin some love there. Reminder, Whatnot is every Tuesday night, 6 p.m., every Sunday night at 4:30. New episodes drop every single Friday at noon. If you haven't given us a follow, like, subscribe, any of that kind of stuff, be sure to do that. This has been the Ballcard Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
Bye now.
Peace.